everyone, we're here on Stand-Up Analysis. We'll be looking at my set that I did yesterday on my own show, Laughter Party. We'll be looking at what went well, what didn't go well, breaking down key moments, and just generally going over the craft of stand-up. Also, if you happen to be interested in this sort of subject matter, and this is not the first video you've watched, maybe like this video, comment, subscribe, hit that noti bell, all those things, and even follow us over on Twitch when we do these live if you want. So, some context for this bit. I've been doing this material for years, half of it, the other half is new, and I'll be able to show you me doing the same material 4 years ago at a different venue after this. So that'll be very interesting. But let's just get into this set itself right up at the beginning. So normally I talk about the intro moment, when you introduce yourself to the audience and the vibe of that. Because I'm hosting the show, I just sort of like had gone up and be like, hey guys, we're gonna have a great show. You guys ready for your first comic? Your first comic is me. So I sort of like pre-introed myself. So this is sort of cheating, this intro. Because I literally just gone like, oh hey, welcome your first comic, after sort of ingratiating myself to the audience. So unfortunately, I don't get to fully do the intro avatar. But if I was gonna do the intro avatar to myself, it's woo! Oh, it's so nice to see you at this party. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for coming to this party. Oh, I appreciate you. Which is the type of person you want to talk to. At least that I want to talk to. That this audience as a whole wants to talk to. So a good job right up top of validating them and their applause for me.
So what I want to talk about, everyone, is I'm going to talk about breakups. Oh.
So the way I go breakups, that's implying I want your input. So I'm trying really right up top to make this feel like a dialogue. Like I'm going to need you to participate. Please be focused and please be sucked in, and I'm going to give you guys time to respond so that later you'll feel comfortable laughing. I'm trying to train that as much as possible up top so that it doesn't get the feeling of this is about me talking, not you laughing.
Oh, and they're a necessary thing. You guys know the fact of like, during the pandemic, everyone got divorced 4 times. You know, guys were like, at first I was like, no, that's not true. But now, everyone I know, divorce, breakup, yeah? Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not worried that the pace is a little slower right now. I'm not worried that I'm not really getting into the material yet. I'm trying to be real and conversational. That's my only goal right now. And to get to a few laughs before I get into it proper. So yeah, it's a little meandering right now, but it's meandering with intent and purpose.
Exactly. If you have someone that you even kind of like move in with them. Have a kid, it'll solve everything. I promise. But I had to help a lot of friends through breakups just in the past month, and it had me thinking about yeah, alcohol helps too.
So, luckily I wasn't on the train tracks. I was able to react to a moment that we all heard, and I'm decent enough at improv that I could turn that moment into something relevant to what we were talking about, resolve it, and get back to the subject matter at hand. Seems sort of natural and like loosey-goosey, easy peasy. Not to brag about myself, but that is not the easiest moment to achieve. A lot of newer stand-ups, their whole set would have just been thrown off. And if you don't recognize that moment, the whole audience heard it, and then they're going to go, didn't he hear it? He didn't hear it? Oh no, what else did he not hear?
That's the sound right before you have sex the last time, before you wake up. Just me? No.
Yeah, so just vibing, improvising more. Not the best jokes, but because I'm seeming like myself and I'm seeming like I'm playing, and I have that rapport with the audience, it's working sufficiently.
I'm thinking about like the ways people break up with people. I don't know. You guys have heard the phrase, it's not you, it's me? Yeah. Who has ever, by round of applause, who's ever had that used on them? Oh yeah! 8 times! Okay. Who has used that before? So it's not you, it's them. What I like.
Very simple bit, but it's interactive, and it uses the things that the audience just gave me. So intrinsically, I like it. A lot of people will be like, that's a hack bit, but those are crowd pleasers. I like it. I enjoy it, and I'm excited to do that more with more audiences. It's fun for me.
About it's not you, it's me, is it's like the implied, it's not you, it's me who's leaving. I mean, that's what you're saying. No.
And then some comedians would just like do the whole thing to get that joke, which would have been like a ha 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 if I hadn't done the interactive part right before.
Another one, let's get a round of applause for Let's Just Be Friends. Who has had that used on them? I am so glad.
And what, part of me is away in auditing, so I recognize that, oh, this guy responded to the first breakup thing, as he's gotten broken up that way, and he's responded the second way. Oh, now I can play with it. Oh, he's getting, I could have like gone even further, like, okay, what about, we want different things. Okay, but like, you just, like, I could have drilled into, as another audible, of like, well, how many ways has this guy gotten broken up with? But instead just recognizing it pays off.
Who has used Let's Just Be Friends? Have you hung out with that person in the last month? Yeah. Let's Just Be Friends.
So there were a few loud yeahs, but most of it was no's from the audience. So unfortunately, the video footage of this looks like well, people just said yeah, and then he sort of does a no. But there were some loud verbal yeses, and then a bunch of more quieted no's if you could see the audience, especially in the bigger right half of the room.
I feel as like, I'm going to check in on you every few months, because this might have been a mistake. Hey, I've fallen back into old relationships.
It's getting a little bit too much like, oh, me, have we? I'm pushing a little bit too much on that button. I need to move just into hard material now. I'm making the audience do a little bit too much work. But this is the newer part of this bit, before I get into the older part, which is going to land a lot harder because I did this part at the opening.
So yes, right now, this guy, no. So the reason I like talking about breakups is because when I'm going through a breakup, I feel like it's just me. I feel so lonely, and I see couples everywhere, like a couple, yeah.
That's too clearly just friends sitting at the audience, but on the side. But it's fun to call that out.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. So if you happen to be going through a breakup or about to be,
so that's a planned line that we're about to be, but because I do it as an aside internally and I drop my voice down real low, it seems like it is natural playing with the audience in the moment. So that's one of those performed reactions, which I used to do a lot more of, and you can get in big trouble with it. But if you use it sparingly, it can pay off really well. About like, oh, I've done this before naturally, and it worked really well. Let me keep that and try to perform it and make it happen in future sets. But you have to be at least a decent actor to sell it.
This might make you feel better. So me personally, the first breakup I ever went through, I was 18 years old, and I was like, this is the love of my life. It's gonna last forever. You guys have that friend that falls in love too fast? Like, we're moving in, and then all the friend group is like, that's me! That's me! Thank you.
See, I don't even, what does that even mean? But because it was directly playing off of them, it extends the laugh a little bit, just to literally just vibe with them.
So she was in the process of breaking up with me, and I was like, I'll be anything you want. Just name, just absolutely pathetic. And she goes, I don't know what I want. I just know I don't want this.
Yeah, so I don't want letting the suspense build, letting them go, letting them holding a little bit before I go with this. If they didn't respond, that pause might have not been as long. So I'm feeling the audience out for that cue. Like, I just don't want this, or I just don't want this. And it's important that this keeps moving even as the audience responds, because it shows that I am actively evolving that bit. The bit is progressing. I'm not halting everything as soon as they respond so they don't feel nervous. From chat, we're moving in. My mind went to Ugh. We're gonna have to help him move again. Yeah, there could be a call out that about like we're moving in together, and your friend group is like, we're gonna have to help him move out again. Yeah, you get the payoff from my reaction joke, and then add a line in, calling it out. Yeah, that works. That definitely works.
Yeah, I can still feel exactly where she touched. Like she burned the words in my soul. Like, oh, yeah.
So the audience starts to feel bad. I need to resolve that the audience might feel bad for me, and historically when I do this bit, they do feel bad with me in the past because I'm sort of going for that. So I need this line to resolve it, or else the rest of the set, they're not going to be as ready to laugh.
It's okay, it's okay. I only think about it like twice today.
That's another thing. Twice today. And once again, I'm using that button of making it smaller internally, seeming to myself, to make it seem like I'm just coming up with it, and this is all ad-lib, but no. As you'll see from the other version, completely scripted and sort of acted, but because I'm using it sparingly, and I've built rapport with the audience and been natural in other moments, like, oh, he's just being natural like he was before. I'm being unnaturally natural right now. But I tricked you! Ha ha ha!
I am over it. It would have been a terrible relationship. I still would have done it.
So I'm making my asides sound really like asides and low-key, which makes them play more, because it really is like, oh, he didn't mean to say that. Versus, I still would have done it, which would not have landed as much. So let's just watch that back.
I think about it like twice today. I am over it. It would have been a terrible relationship. I still would have done it. I'm done.
See, they're laughing really long, and so I notice that this laugh is going long, really. So I stop, I wink at them to sort of like, hey, yeah, you're allowed to keep laughing. And I'm like, oh, you want to play with this moment? Now let's add an extra line to it.
No.
I reignite the laugh.
Yeah. It's okay. I only think about it like twice today. I am over it. It would have been a terrible relationship. I still would have done it.
Wink.
I'm dumb. No.
Line big.
It doesn't even help me when.
The whole time leaving more space than words so that they can laugh. Because they want to laugh. And they want to play with that idea. So I stick with it instead of going back to material so fast.
I know the breakup is coming. I was dating this girl at the end of the summer. She was moving to China, and I was not going to go with her. I would have gone. I was not invited. I was like, guys, I'm going to move to China. And my friends were like, there goes William again. So one day, I don't know when it's coming. It's like at the end of the summer. So one day, she FaceTimed.
So one thing that's helping the jokes land is I'm saying like, hey, this is information. Hey, this is information. Hey, this is information. And now I'm putting my personality into it. Oh, haha, and I'm smiling a little bit. So the audience sort of like knows when I'm info dumping versus like, okay, here's where it's the conversation again. You can run into danger if you say too many things like, hey, this is bullshit. You don't need to listen to this. Hey, this is bullshit. You don't need to listen to this. Because then the audience definitely won't usually laugh at those lines. But if you use it specifically to very define, hey, this is, I just need to get through this versus now when you laugh, you can cue them into when to laugh again really well. So it is a tool to use. It's used very specifically because if used overly, like right now, so I'd be like, oh, it's a tool to use specifically. Don't listen to this. Use the tool, but make sure you're using it with intention. You can use the tool, but make sure you're not using it with intention. The idea doesn't land as much.
The shower. Yeah, I'm like, I know. One day, she FaceTimes me from the shower. Yeah, I'm like, I know what this is. Zip. Unbuckle. Button. Pantyhose. So I don't know what you guys wear, okay? And the first.
The joke did not, it was a big fizz. That's a new addition to the old written material. I was gonna even do it longer, like, oh, butt plug, oh, necklace. It did not land as much, so I think maybe I should have just kept it with zip, or gone really into it and specifically undressed, like maybe what I was wearing right then, like this gray hoodie, belt on these black jeans. It was today, you guys. It was today. Might have been a different way to make that pay off. But I think it either needed to be a one hit and let the audience get the idea of like, oh, they're about to do something sexual, or really play the bit about like, I'm miming taking my clothes off. Hey, I'm doing this big. What else can someone wear? Shout something out. A scarf? Oh, this scarf. Shout something else out. A hat. And if I really got the audience in on that joke, I think I still do have faith in that joke of artificial stripping, artificial layer of clothes. The audience just needed to be more participant of it.
First thing she says is she's like, William, I just think we should just be friends. I don't want you to see me in any other way. Is that okay? We can keep talking about it. I was like, yeah, let's keep talking about it. But it didn't work.
So one of the reasons that act out works is because I leave nonverbal parts of the act out to really build who this, what really is happening and who this person is. A lot of times you'll see it when I teach other comedians, when they go to act outs, they want to use the act out as a puppet for their words and then leave the act out without any sort of, you, what are you doing? They want to be like, what are you doing? And then get out. But it shows more if you actually stick with it a little bit and show the world building of who this is, the aura around this person.
Like, William, I just think we should just be friends. I don't want you to see me in any other.
Yeah, see, right? It's a lot of the nonverbal parts that are getting more laughs than the actual like logic and words of the joke right now.
Hey, is that okay? We can keep talking about it. I was like, yeah, let's keep talking about it. But it didn't work. So it's only fair. I've talked about how other people have broken up with me.
The way, 1 second. Maybe a smaller progression, more likely things. I don't know about the smaller progression of things, because like I don't know how I feel about that, because like we've already done zipper, which is like gets the idea across, belt, and then buttons. If I keep doing things that I actually have, like socks, underwear, it's not heightening, it's lateral moves, so the audience gets ahead of you on the bit. The way we can make that funny is if we keep doing, and so the audience is like, how many things is he wearing? So that if it's lateral moves, you could do zip, buckle, button, sleeve, undershirt, tank top underneath that shirt, gold chain, sock, toe ring, shoe, scrunchie in my hair, hat. Like then it becomes more of like a how many clothings can he lift? But I think the way I was going with that, I don't know what you guys wear. I was going for more of like a, hey, what kind of silly things can I act out? Because there's a bit I do in Batsu where we take our robes off and I pretend to keep going. Where I really wanted it to be about the physicality of removing different strange objects, and I really did want it to end with butt plug.
I've talked about how other people have broken up with me. So here's how I tend to break up with other people. Usually if someone's in my life, I care about them very much, and I don't like people leaving my life, as you might have tell from who I am.
So I'm not trying to get laughs right now. I mean, like, if I'm getting laughs, I'm fine with it, but I'm more trying to build in hyper honesty and hyper the audience feeling like I'm real, so I can get laughs on the payoff. We get a laugh anyways, because just being truthful and real with your emotions will get laughs sometimes, and then because we're cueing in the audience, we get a payoff of this.
Tell from who I am. My therapist at table A. So normally I'm like, hey, I still want you to be in my life. Let's just be friends. I do use that line, and I do mean it. And we do hang out as friends. And then we start fucking as friends. And I'm like, oh shit, no, sorry, I'm so sorry. Let's just be friends. And then we hang out as friends. And we go to weddings together as friends. We choose baby names as friends. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. We should just be friends. And after like, I don't know, 6 iterations of that, they go, I don't know what I want, William. But I don't want this. And then it finally ends! Yeah! So
the audience wasn't vibing with it. Usually when I go, but they don't want, the audience recognizes that I'm calling back that they don't want this from my first breakup, and it usually gets a bigger laugh. So normally I would not do and then the relationship ends so fast after this, but I could feel that wasn't gonna land. So I needed to pump the energy up right at the end of my set. So that's why I did that final line. That's usually not there of the...
And after like, I don't know, 6 iterations of that, they go, I don't know what I want, William. But I don't want this. And then it finally ends! Yeah! So that's me breakup.
Because the audience is on my side, they match my energy for the yeah, and I sort of have to pimp my final applause break out. But better than not getting it. So the material that was pre-written worked as it has in the past. The new material of the audience playing is a little overindulgent, and it touches, it's like that, hey, what do you guys think? maybe one too many times, but I am cold opening the show right now. This is the first thing that happens right before pre-show, so I need to really get the audience prepared for a night of interacting. So to set up my other comedians, which maybe aren't doing that enough, I'm okay with the fact that I press that button too many times to set the stage for the night that this is an interactive show that you guys won't just be sitting and watching. So for normally, if I was just a solo comic on another show, I did that way too many times. For the host opening my own show, I'm okay with that first 3 minutes being a little bit too much. Hey, what did you think? I think the set in general still touches a little bit on like, yeah, it could be seen as a little bit too sad, so the audience might be a little bit too, oh, woe is me towards the end, and I might need to build in more, oh, it's okays towards the last part, but overall, I like it a lot, and it allowed me to be super real as opposed to the bits that I usually do, which are super zany and not very connected in my real life. So this is the current iteration of this set. What we're going to do now is watch the original version of the set. So let us watch this other iteration of the same stand-up set, which I don't have the beginning of.
We had a lot of talk about like, this is how you deliver bad news, and this is how you mediate things. It made me think about breakups because I'm constantly going through them. It's true.
So this is one of the first times I really experimented with like the blah blah blah. Underhanded thing to myself. Oh, booty blue. And I really thought it worked well with this set, and so I started to keep it more after this set. But I did not plan on doing that moment right there.
When I get into breakups, I get really sad because I feel like it's only me, and I always see like couples. Sorry if y'all aren't couples. People always do like comedy shows like couples. It's like we're friends. They're like, no, you're having sex. I don't try to do that. But
so that was a little bit too many words. You notice how I was like, and this idea, this idea, this idea. I like the general vibe of it, and it seems like I'm playing with the audience, and it seems like I'm coming up with it in the moment, and I am. I did not plan on being like, y'all fucking.
I feel like it's only me, and I always see like couples. Sorry if y'all aren't couples. People always do like comedy shows like couples. It's like we're friends. They're like, no, you're having sex. I don't try to do that.
Because I'm actually being like, I'm sorry to y'all, I think that's what caused it to land as well as it did, even though I'm going a little bit too rambly. It's because I am actually interacting with the audience and making sure that they were okay.
But to maybe help you in a future breakup or oncoming breakup.
That's me, actually. I've been an improviser for years and years and years, so I'm sort of relaxed now because the first part of the set that I also can't show didn't go the best. So now I'm like, okay, they like me. Let's play with them, and I'm feel free to like unleash the beast within and use my full power.
I'm going to share some breakup stories. Hopefully it'll help you get perspective. My first breakup, I was 18 years old. We dated for 2 years. I thought she was my soulmate. Spoiler alert, she was not at all. But we're breaking up, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? You know, if you want a surfer, like, I'll learn to surf. If you want like a Christian, I'll stop saying the F word. And she goes, I don't know what
That joke didn't land, and so I've cut it since. I think I was supposed to say, if you want a Christian, I'll stop saying God damn it. But it just, I think there's another joke where it's like, if you want something, I'll be a banker or whatever, like I'll be whatever you want. The premise is too not grounded in reality, and I don't think I am explaining it well enough. So the audience is confused, so they don't laugh at that joke. So now let's go to the part that did work and that was kept.
I want. I just know I don't want this.
And the whole reason I do the joke about like, if you want a Christian, if you want that, because I'm really trying to land the idea about like, do you want this? Do you want this? No, I don't want that. So I just needed a way to really incept that idea, and I just don't like the way I structurally did that. So we changed it. But I like the instinct of having something there.
I just know I don't want this. I can still feel exactly where she touched. Like she burned those words into my soul. I'm fine. That was 14 years ago. I only think about it twice a month. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's me. I'm like holding my hand, which I don't like a little bit because it's sort of like, hey, please stop applause to listen to this next thing, which I don't ever want to be telling the audience to stop applauding. But because it's really reacting to them and really talking to them, it gets that big reaction. I'm also using the gear shift of like ha ha ha, and then this to myself, blah 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 blah. No, I didn't really mean that. And it's making it seem like it's real in the moment, and in this part it is. But it's working really well because the audience is feeling like I'm in the moment. And I am. 72%.
But sometimes even the easy breakups aren't that easy. Like when they start with, it's not you, it's me, or we need to talk, or I've been thinking, ... Do y'all have any go-tos? Any
Yeah.
go-to? What?
Oh, sorry, agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. I was agreeing with you, but not anymore. No.
Not that clever, but I resolved the tension of this weird moment with the audience, so it gets a laugh. I also forgot a joke that I didn't do in either of these times, but used to be in the set. Do I do it?
I had a relationship a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, so there's a joke that was not part of this set, was part of a different set. And I asked the audience, like, do you have any go-to breakup lines? And this woman goes, I say, you thought you deserved this? Please. And usually I share that story with the audience. I go, well, let's talk to an audience. And I asked if you had any go-to breakups lines. And a woman goes, you thought you deserved this? Please. And it usually gets a big reaction from the audience. But I forgot to do it in this iteration. And I forgot to do it in my other iteration. Oh, dumb William. I promised myself I was going to do it.
A relationship a few years ago. I knew we were going to break up over the summer because at the end of the summer she was accepting a job in China for 4 years and I was not going to China. Not that I have anything wrong with China, it's just like we were only 2 months in and like she wasn't going to ask me even though I would have gone and whatever. I get attached.
So the reason that joke works is because really the joke is like, oh, I'm rambling, let me get back on track, more than it is the words. It's that dynamic. So that's all thanks to the sort of like the acting, which I'm pretty sure that part is prefabricated. That's my acting chops.
I get attached real fast.
Wait.
I get attached real fast. Anyone want love? No.
See, did anyone want love? That was improvised, and because of the feel of it, people see that it's in the moment, and it gets more laughs than it would have if it feels like it was written, just because the audience like vibes more with it, because it seems like it's in response to them versus like I'm forcing something on the table.
She FaceTimes me from the shower, so immediately I answer, I'm like, oh, zip. She starts off, hey, I don't think we should see each other for the summer. I'm like, zip. And she was saying,
yeah, I like this version better. It's much more streamlined. It's not implanting more in the audience's head. I still like the idea of stripping the fake clothes, but maybe I should just stay with the streamlined classic.
Like, if it's not a long-term thing, I just don't think it's gonna work out, it's not worth putting more time into this thing. And what I'm hearing versus what I'm seeing conflicted so much, I just freeze up, I'm like, screenshot. And it's the last time we got.
So, look, I like that screenshot joke. I like it a lot. I really do. You might be asking yourself, William, why did you not do that joke in the iteration that you did yesterday? So the problem with the screenshot joke is I mean it as just a silly, fun, of course I'm joking, I didn't actually do this, but the idea of it, that I'm remembering this moment, hey, let's laugh at this silly thing. However, as I did this set a lot, sometimes I would get full-on gasps from the audience, like, about screenshots, and I once talked to the audience that was like, oh, hey, why, and it would ruin the joke for the rest of the audience, because like, oh no, they feel a certain way about that, I can't laugh at this anymore. And the reason it gets such a big reaction is because there are a lot of, especially female audience members, who've been in relationships in the past where their significant others were not the best stewards of their selfies and spicy selfies, and so they have very bad associations with that. Rightfully so, and so it's a point of danger. So I would be doing this joke, and sometimes it would kill, like it did here, and then sometimes it would get a full-on gasp, and it would ruin like 30 seconds of my set as I had to recover. And it's because of that real-life tension that was in the room. And so for a while, I was calling that out, like, thank you guys for laughing. Sometimes people gasp, and it's because people are not good with nudes. Don't send your nudes. And I did a joke about, like, don't take that pic of your nick. Don't. And it's basically a stupid rhyming thing about, like, don't send nudes. And for a while, that got some pretty decent coverage. In fact, should have done that yesterday. But the point being is, I thought this was a silly joke because I don't really have any bad experiences with spicy news being mismanaged in the past. But I can imagine that that'd be a very terrible thing that a lot of real people have really experienced. And so I had to recognize that and change my jokes accordingly. Otherwise, they just randomly wouldn't land because you're causing tension. So it's like people will be like, oh, that joke is golden. You should always do that. But like, sometimes there are deeper levels. Yeah.
I'll end with this. The way I break up with people is not good either. Usually like 1 or 2 months in, I know it's not like lifetime sort of relationship. So I'm usually like, hey, this is great, but I think we'd work better as friends. Then we hang out as friends. Then we start messing around as friends. Then like a month or 2 into that, I'm like, hey, I think it worked better as we were friends. Then we hang out as friends. Then we hook up as friends. And like 4 or 5 iterations of that, and they start to go, I don't know what I want, but I don't want this. Thank you, everyone.
Maybe that was a little bit of that's a fast exit. Oh my god. I give a little bit like, thank you, I've been William Kean, but then I leave too much and too drastically. There's about to be a sketch on after me, so that might have been a technical thing. But you know what? I think I'm trying to put too many fanciful, in true William fashion, I'm trying to do too much with the iteration I did yesterday with like the, oh, hey, wedding, together as friends, or wedding proposal as friends, and oh, hey, babies' names, and like maybe I should just keep it true about like, we hang out, we hook up, I'm like, I'm sorry, we hang out, we hook up, I'm like, I'm sorry, we hang out, we hook up, I'm like, I'm sorry, and they're finally like, I don't know what I want, I want this, and so then it sort of is like, it really shows the Ouroboros of the same thing happening, I'm gonna let the same thing happening until they break out of the cycle. And it causes the audience to do less work in their mind sphere, as far as imagining me at weddings and imagining me picking baby names. So okay, old William, old William, you got some good instincts. So overall, I think I have a lot more experience playing with the audience. Now, I guess like 4 or 5-ish years later. But once again, not bad in the original iteration, and my original iteration did keep things more real. And this is just the start of the style that I really like now, where I'm talking and I just do some stupid thing to myself to help sell it, and then I gotta talk again, and it really makes it stand out more. So, if you have made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe, smash that noti bell, and check out more stand-up analysis videos. We're going to be analyzing a lot more sets with a lot more people, and you can see the process through the years as I analyze all sorts of sets and all sorts of different situations. If I was going to do this set again, I would keep the new beginning, maybe truncate how much I play with the audience and how much I ask them. Maybe just do one like the it's not you, it's me who's leaving, and maybe don't do the second iteration with let's just be friends, or maybe just do let's just be friends, and I would just do one of those. I would keep this version of the zip, keep the zip simple, add back in the joke about like, do you guys have any go-to breakups? Well, one time I was with an audience and she was like, you thought you deserved this? Please, is what that audience member said, and keep that joke in. And maybe a few more palate cleansers for like, this isn't sad, I'm fine. Maybe not, I'm fine. So that the audience doesn't risk getting too aww with me. I wish I had a version of this with the selfie. Don't say the selfie words. Give me 2 seconds, people, and I'm gonna see if in my like huge catalog of sets, if I have at least one iteration with that other joke, just so you can see that joke that I was doing for a while to palate cleanse. Oh boy, do you guys want to? Okay, I think I only did half of this bit. This is a set I did in Ohio where I absolutely bombed because the audience was full of like 50-year-old, conservative people, and they really did not like me. So let me get this real fast, and hopefully I did the joke I am talking about. in this iteration of the set. Oh my god, I cringe to see what this is.
On the radio here today, it's National Breakup Day. Apparently this weekend, more people break up than any other week. So watch out, you happily married people. Yeah, for the holidays, exactly. You don't want to be the wrong person. You don't want to bring the wrong person home to your terrible family. I feel that. But I found that my very first breakup ever, I was in love with her. She was not in love with me, and I'm explaining to her that, like, I will change myself for you. I'll be whatever you want. And she goes, I don't know what I want. I just know I don't want this. I can still feel where she touched, like she burned those words into my soul.
You see how you see how I did it faster that time? What is happening with that? Let me open it up with a different. You see how I did that joke faster that time? As opposed to the other time with instead of building the tension with I don't want this. I don't want this.
On the radio here today, and she goes, I don't know what I want. I just know I don't want this. I can still feel where she touched, like she burned those words into my soul. It's been 16 years. I only think about it like once every day.
Because so the audience wasn't liking my bigger, hackier bits. This bit worked with them because it was more real and so more universal experience. When I get into wackier things, they tend to be more like male, millennial, my worldview type things. So you, instead of more universal, hey, breakups, we all feel that. So it was a good audible to do this set for this show.
It's only fair. I talk about her. I'll talk about the way I break up with people. Normally, after like 1 or 2 months.
Oh no! I didn't even. Oh, was I trying to cut my set short? I didn't even do the shower bit.
I know.
I might have been real nervous. That's so sad.
I marry them because you just as friends. You know, as friends. Thanks, comic. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was trying to end it to get to the next comic. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we could at least get that iteration of it, and you guys could see my hair in a weird way and see me in Ohio. I guess I didn't do this bit that often. So that is it with regards to that